Welcome. In this video, we're going to take a short look at Adobe Lightroom Classic local adjustments via masking. We are in the library module, so I'm going to jump over to the develop module. I always want to make sure we do our global adjustments before our local adjustments. And by global, what I mean is something that affects the overall image. So if we look at the basic tab, I've already done that. I've moved through my images. There's some curve work, and I'm sure there's some color mixer that's already happened here. And those changes affect everything. Now I want to jump in and work locally. So I'm going to click on the masking tab. And what we have is subject, sky, and background to start with. And I'm just going to go ahead and click on the sky tab. And you can see this red mask here, and that's showing me the area that would be changed with any types of adjustments. Now it did a really nice job, but I might not like that it hit this cloud or a little bit of the mountaintop. So I might just go ahead and click subtract, and I'm going to use a brush. And you notice I have the minus sign on there, and the brush has a size and feather and flow. I think I'm going to go with a little bit smaller brush, and I'm just going to subtract some of the mask up in here and maybe on this cloud. Actually, I think I'm going to go with a little bigger size and a little higher flow here just to speed it up for the quick demonstration, because maybe I don't want my changes to affect the cloud. Maybe I do. But here's where I can now decide, what do I want to do with the sky? I can darken it down in there, have a lot of control. Maybe I want to make the whites a little bit brighter with that. So I can do an overall sky, and that's a really quick adjustment. One of my favorite ones when working on the masking is do a linear gradient. So I'm going to add that also. I'm going to click create a new mask. I'm going to come down to a linear gradient, and I'm going to click and drag. So when I do this, at the top, the adjustment will be 100%. At the bottom, right down here, it's 0, and it just gradiates in between. So maybe I do want to darken down a little bit near the top with that. And do I want to change the color at all? Maybe a little yellow, make it a little cooler up at the top. And maybe the whites might get a little bit brighter. And maybe the shadows get a little bit darker. So I keep the whites nice and bright in there. I think I'm going to do something similar at the bottom. So I'm going to do another linear gradient. And I kind of want to just darken down the very bottom a little bit, just a tiny, tiny bit. I don't want to go too much. But now I love some of the highlights that I see in here. So I'm going to add another brush or another adjustment using a brush. Check the size on here. I think I'm going to go a little bit larger with that. One of the nice things is that these adjustments, after we've done it, we can change how much we want. I think I'm going to preload the brush. I could start painting now and you won't see any changes. You'll just see the red mask. However, if I preload it, and maybe I'll brighten it up a little bit, and I can paint some brightness in. That might not be quite enough. There we go. Paint a little in. Go with a little smaller brush. I'm just trying to hit some of the tops of the yellow in here. Kind of like the light is just moving through. Maybe a little larger. Kind of just a little bit of light coming through. I'm painting kind of in the same direction as we see some of the grass and shrubs in here. Maybe a little brighter on the top. And in fact, maybe I do want this to be a little bit warmer to counteract the top. Now what I can do is just click this little button right there and kind of see the before and after. So it's a subtle but nice change. And that's gradating the bottom. That might be a little too much. So I am going to lessen that change. And if I want to see what this adjustment is, I could just click there. And we know that's the mask up top here, and that's the sky. I did darken it down a little bit. Yeah, I definitely like it a little bit darker, and I think I might make it a little bit more cooler temperature blue to go with the blue on the top and the warm on the bottom. And with any one of these masks, I can add to it with all the different tools or subtract. So it's pretty nice because I can create a mask, and then later on I can use the same different tools I have at my disposal to make more adjustments. There's the sky mask. And we can right click and rename. Sometimes it's nice just to rename things so you know what they are. We can subtract from mask and add, but we have quite a bit of color adjustment that we can do. We could also do a pinpoint color adjustment. And you can see here, I can adjust the sky just by pinpointing or point color. It's a pretty cool tool that we have. Now, the thing about this one is I don't actually have this in my mask. So if I started making an adjustment, nothing's going to change because, well, it's not in the mask. I do have curve adjustment, different effects with that. You know, I think I'm going to drop back down to mask 4. I'm going to go all the way down here. And maybe I want to add, we'll open up effects and a little clarity. Don't want to go too high here and make it look fake, but I like having a little bit of information just standing out. So there's a quick introduction to Lightroom Classic's local and masking adjustments.